Greetings and welcome to Inner Mileage channel. My name is Dr. Gyesie, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks heal, transform, and optimize their lives to a resonant life right here, right now. Today we're going to talk about narcissistic friends, what they are like, and why empaths seem to be left out or treated poorly by narcissistic friends. You see, often as empaths, we're often praised for our deep sensitivity, our ability to understand others on a very deep emotional level. But what happens with that very gift, our empathy, leads us into friendships that leave us feeling isolated, misunderstood, or even betrayed. Many of you have experienced this. You show up, you give your heart, your time, your energy, and in return, you're left questioning why your so-called friends fail to show up for you when it matters, or why your so-called friends are passive-aggressive and pass snide comments that are jokes, but actually spells to make you feel lower than them because they feel insecure about your true essence and hope you don't see it. We'll dive into how narcissistic friends manipulate and drain us, why we might be complicit in this by betraying ourselves, and most importantly, what this means for your own personal journey. This is a powerful conversation, one that just may open your eyes to patterns you've been living with for years. So let's talk about the nature of empaths and struggles and friendships. See, empaths are deeply intuitive, sensitive individuals who can feel the emotions of others like it's their own. And this makes empaths excellent listeners, healers, and supporters in relationships and friendships. However, our sensitivity can often become a double-edged sword because we want to be there for others, we want to help, to give, and to care. And in doing so, we sometimes forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to take care of ourselves. And the emotional energy we expend in these relationships often far exceed what we receive in return. In other words, there isn't a fair reciprocity. Not that you go into a friendship seeing that, but a friendship is a voluntary exchange. So if it becomes one-sided, it's not a friendship. And in many cases, when the empath wakes up to the reality that they are narcissistic friendships and stop making efforts, the friendship typically would die. Or the other narcissistic friend would try to love bomb the empath back into submission, being the chaser. So why does this happen? The empathic heart of the empath believes that if we give enough, if we love enough, others will eventually reciprocate. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone is capable of giving in the way that empaths do. That's true. This is especially true when we're dealing with people who have narcissistic traits. And these individuals see our empathy not as something to honor, but it's as something to exploit, right? Because the narcissist is driven by control and manipulation because that's how they grew up. They became a narcissist because they're deeply broken, and were broken by a narcissistic caregiver or parent. So their job is simply to make sure everybody gets damaged too. That's the job of the narcissist. They're like a virus of victimhood, shame, pain, and subjugation, you see. And the empath is an overlord of light, one who's transcended the wickedness they've experienced to be a light being. And this is something that the narcissist cannot fathom and understand, that the empath naturally embodies this. But let's talk about why empaths are drawn to narcissistic friends. You see, narcissists are drawn to empaths because empaths offer them something they crave: attention, admiration, and most importantly, a source of emotional energy they can tap into. Because the narcissist is a soulless being because they've been damaged so much and deserve our empathy. Not our reconciliation, if you can avoid it, but our empathy. So narcissistic friends operate in a very specific way. At first, they come across as charismatic, supportive, and engaging. They may even make you feel like a true friend. But this charm is very superficial. It's part of their strategy. You see, the narcissists are masters of emotional manipulation. Don't take that for granted. It's not an accident. They've fashioned the skill over decades since they were children, you see. They start by creating a sense of intimacy, making you feel valued. But over time, their behavior changes. Slowly they become distant, often critical, demanding, expecting you to give while giving you little in return. And this shows up in different ways in relationships, friendships to be more specific. Now, here's the key. Narcissistic friends will take advantage of your empathy. They will charm you with kindness, only to later exploit your need for reciprocity. And because you, as an empath, care deeply about maintaining the relationship, you may stay in these toxic friendships long after they've become emotionally harmful to you. And these narcissists will gaslight you, making you question your feelings, your worth, the nature of the relationship. They might even dismiss your emotions or belittle your experiences. All done sometimes very, very overtly, and other times in a very kind of sly, sneaky, backhanded way. And they make you feel like you're too sensitive or needy. But the reality is their behavior is a reflection of their inability to form genuine emotional connections. Now let's talk about the empath's role in this, because the empath is a participant in this tango dance. And the reason the empath is a participant in this is because of self-betrayal. See, one of the most painful truths for many empaths to realize is that on some level, we are betraying ourselves in these relationships. And that's the hard truth to sit with. But it's also one of the most transformative realizations you can have. See, when you consistently put others' needs ahead of your own, when you silence your boundaries to keep the peace, you are engaging in self-betrayal. You're telling yourselves, I'm not worthy enough. And then yourselves will believe you. You're abandoning your own needs, your own worth, to maintain a connection that doesn't truly serve you. You see, self-betrayal happens when we overgive, when we tolerate behaviors that go against our values, and when we stay in friendships that drain us emotionally, all because we fear losing the relationship. It's happened to many of us. But what we often fail to see is that by betraying ourselves, we're actually setting the stage for others, particularly narcissists, to mistreat us. Do you see? That's how much power we have. Because nobody can mistreat you without your permission. Now, I know this is when one is unconscious and unawakened, but I still have to tell the truth. The act of self-betrayal is subtle but powerful. It's a pattern rooted in the belief that we have to earn love. Can you believe that racket? You have to earn love when you are loved. That we have to prove our worth by sacrificing our well-being for others. But the truth is, no friendship is worth sacrificing yourself for. So you may be saying, then what to do? How do you break the cycle of self-betrayal and narcissistic friendships? Great question. How do we stop being the friend who is left out, mistreated, or taken advantage of? The first step with most things is awareness. That is recognizing the patterns in our friendships. And this may be very difficult to see unless you begin to pay attention, and you typically would make sense of these narcissistic patterns in retrospect. Most of us do realize this in retrospect, and then the whole game, the whole racket makes sense. Pay attention to how often you're the one doing the emotional heavy lifting. Notice when your boundaries are being crossed. It's not about blaming yourself, but about understanding how your empathy has been used against you. It's about setting boundaries. And I know for empaths, this can feel like a betrayal of very compassion that defines us, you see. But let me tell you this. Setting boundaries is one of the most compassionate things you can do for yourself and for others. When you establish healthy boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You also protect your emotional energy, which is crucial for your well-being. When a friend crosses your boundaries, especially a narcissistic one, don't be afraid to assert your needs. This might mean having a difficult conversation or even walking away from friendships that no longer serve you. I've done that, and I encourage you to review your own life and view the merits of being able to do that. And remember, walking away is not a failure. It's an act of self-preservation, you see. So this journey isn't just about understanding narcissistic friends or even learning to protect yourself from emotional harm. It's about something a bit more profound. It's about reclaiming your power as an empath. The mistreatments, the feelings of being left out or abandoned, the toxic dynamics, they're all opportunities for you to discover your worth. They were not punishments. You see, empaths have a unique gift. We can feel deeply. And through that feeling, we can also heal deeply. Heal ourselves and heal others if asked to do so and if relevant. The challenge you faced in your friendships have a deeper spiritual meaning. They're here to teach you that your worth isn't defined by how much you give to others. It's defined by how much you honor and respect yourself. When you begin to honor yourself, you will start to attract friendships that are more balanced, friendships where your empathy is celebrated, not exploited. And that, my friends, is where true healing really begins. Dear empaths, it's time to reclaim your power. No more being the friend who's taken advantage of. No more giving from an empty cup. Start by recognizing the dynamics in your relationship. Set boundaries that honor your worth. And most importantly, stop betraying yourself for the sake of others. If this resonates with you and you feel ready to dive deeper into healing these patterns, I invite you to connect with me at Inner Knowledge Coaching, where we can help you navigate this, or any mental health professional who is skilled in handling narcissistic abuse. Know that there's absolutely no one like you. Know your worth and add tax, and keep shining your beautiful light. Peace.